The MP Concepts LED side markers that we're talking about here today should appeal to all 2015 through 2023 Charger owners out there who want to completely black out the markers themselves, while at the same time adding some unique and bright LED lighting in the process. Now this set is going to include 2 amber markers for the front, along with 2 red markers for the rear, and will feature a pretty simple install, offer right around that low $100 price point. So again, these really are going to appeal to the Charger owners out there who really dig that smoked out or blacked out look and are looking to do that with all of the lighting on his or her ride, including the front and rear markers. Now this is also going to add some brightness through a modern LED, along with, I would say, a somewhat unique lighting pattern. Now let's talk a little bit more about that pattern first here, because unlike the factory markers that typically just utilize a single bulb in the center, the MP Concepts options here are going to utilize a high intensity LED strip that will illuminate essentially from tip to tip, making for a higher quality look. Now moving into construction, and what you're going to be looking at here, guys, is SMDs, or surface mounted diodes, that are basically located in the ABS plastic base or housing in black, and then topped off with that really dark smoked polycarbonate lens. Now the lights themselves, or the markers, are going to be a carbon copy of the factory markers in pretty much every single way, from the overall footprint, design, shape, all that good stuff, which means they will be a pretty easy swap with your factory marker lights. Now there is a little bit of wiring needed here. They are not plug and play. However, MP Concepts does toss in the necessary vampire clips to get these wired in, which will make them essentially as close to a plug and play job as you can get. We'll show you a little bit more on that here later in the video. Now moving into price point, guys, super appealing here in this regard, as well as the set of 4 options or markers from MP Concepts will land right around $100, give or take, which might be a little bit more expensive, of course, than buying just like a vinyl tint kit per se. But at the same time, you have to factor in you are getting the much better, much brighter LED lighting that will result in a much, I would say, higher quality look at the end of the day. All right, guys, last but not least, let's get into the installation as promised earlier. And because we are looking at a relatively simple job, the site is going to stick with a 1 out of 3 wrench rating on the difficulty meter, taking about 45 minutes from start to finish to get everything in place and everything wired up. But to give you a better idea of just how this one might go down in the garage or driveway at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
The tools you'll need for this project are a ratchet, a 7mm socket, a trim panel removal tool, a T25 Torx bit driver, a Phillips head screwdriver, a pair of wire strippers and crimpers, a pair of pliers, and an electrical connector such as what's included in the kit. Hi everyone, today we're installing a set of side marker lights on our Charger, so let's get started with the uninstall of the stock light. First off, let's start off by saying that you can totally do this job on the ground on a set of jack stands. We've got ours up on a lift just to give you a better visual of what we're doing. So the first thing we're going to do, once you get your wheel removed, is we've got 5 push pins that we need to remove so that we can slide our wheel liner out of the way, and then we can have access to our lights. So let's go ahead, we'll be using our trim panel removal tool to remove these push clips. So we've got 3 push clips along the outer edge here, and we've got 2 on the inside here. So we'll go ahead and use our tool and get those out of the way. All right, with our push clips out of the way, all we have to do is just pull our wheel liner back. And then right behind the light here, behind the wheel liner, we've got 2 T25 Torx screws that we need to remove to be able to slide the light out. And with our screws removed, we can just pull straight out, and we've got access to our electrical connector. We're just going to push down on a release tab and separate that from the light. All right, now we're ready for the install of our new lights. And we're gonna have to tap into our current vehicle harness with our new lights in order to get them to work. Now the kit comes with these Scotch lock connectors, which are really easy and simple to use. All you have to do is take the open side of the connector, slide it over the wire like so, and then take the other end of your wire, make sure it's the correct one, slide it into the other side, use a pair of pliers, close down this clamp here on the top, and then lock the tab over the side of it. Now we're not going to be using these because these lights are not staying on our vehicle. We're going to use a different method. Now of course you can use whatever method you find works best for you. We are going to be using a T-tap and a set of spade connectors on the end of our lights. So let's go ahead and go with that. So to use our T-tap connector, what it's going to do is basically the same thing as the Scotch lock. We're going to put our wiring harness wire into the metal tab here, close the lid, use our pliers to crimp it together, and then we'll go and we'll install the second one on the other wire. What that's going to allow us to do when we'll put a spade connector on our light, we'll be able to plug it right into the side of this connector here. It makes for easy to remove and plug back in if you have any issues. So let's go ahead and get these connected. So we've got it placed on our metal spike inside the connector. Close the lid, and then use our pliers to crimp it together. And you're done. Now we'll do the same thing for the other wire. All right, now we can attach our spade connectors to our light wires. So we're going to use our wire stripper and strip off about 1/4 of an inch or so off the end of the wire of the insulation. Go ahead and twist it together to keep it from fraying. And do the same thing for the other wire. Now we'll take our spade connector, slide it over the end of the exposed wire, making sure that the wire goes into the connector itself, and then use our crimpers and crimp it together. Now we can go ahead and plug in our 2 spade connectors to our T-taps, making sure that we connect them correctly. So in this case, for dealing with the rear, the red wire on our light is going to plug into the T-tap on the white wire, and the black wire on the light is going to go to the black wire on the harness. All right, once you've got them connected, we'll just go ahead and feed the wires back inside. Set our light in place. And now we can secure it with the supplied Phillips head screws that comes with the kit. Now these screws will go right back in the same location of your factory screws. We'll just get those started. And then using our Phillips head screwdriver, we'll go ahead and lock those down. Now with our light secured, we can go ahead and replace our fender liner using the original push clips. Now the front is very similar to the rear, except we've got a few more items to take off. So we've got actually 7 push clips that we need to remove, 3 along the outer edge here, one in the middle here, and two more down here. Or three more down here. And then we've got three 7mm bolts that we need to remove so that we can peel back our wheel liner to get access to our light right here. So using our trim removal tool, we'll go ahead and pop out these push clips. Now we'll use our 7mm socket to remove these three screws in the middle. Now we can just peel back our liner. And using our T25 Torx bit, go ahead and remove the two screws on the back of the light. And with our screws removed, we'll just go ahead and slide the light out, push down on the release lever, and disconnect the harness. Now we'll go ahead and make our electrical connections just like we did in the rear. So we'll install our T-taps onto the factory harness. Use our pliers to crimp it together. All right, now we'll go ahead and put our spade connectors onto our light wires. Crimp those down. And then we can go ahead and plug these in as well. Now these are different colored wires from the rears. So we've got a yellow and a black on the front. And we've got a white with a brown stripe and a black wire on the front. So the yellow wire is going to go to the white connector. And the black, again, is going to go to black. Now we can just feed these back inside. And we'll secure those with the supplied screws and our Phillips head screwdriver. And again, these screws are going to go in the same location as the factory screws. Now we put our wheel well liner back in place. And we'll secure it with our original hardware. And we'll start off by putting in our three 7mm screws. And now we'll reinsert our push pins. And now you can repeat that process for the other side. And that wraps up our review and install of the MP Concepts LED side markers for your 15 to 23 Charger, excluding wide body. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Charger, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.